And repeat after me. I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
Joe Biden has been sworn in as the 46th President of the United States as his predecessor soon after his inauguration. Gambia could face another lockdown if the new COVID-19 cases increases, according to the Director of Health Promotion. And the Tunisian tourism industry has been hit by the new measures imposed to contain the COVID-19 pandemic. These and more coming your way on The World Today. Hello, this is Africa TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin. I am Amadou Kante. Many thanks for joining us. And now the news in detail. And first to the U.S., where Joe Biden has been formally sworn in as the 46th President of the United States in an inauguration ceremony in Washington, D.C. Alongside Mr. Biden, Kamala Harris also made history as she became the nation's first woman vice president. Now let's take a listen to Joe Biden as he takes his oath.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
Office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Repeat after me. I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear.
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
The duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right.
And that was Kamala Harris there. Before her was Joe Biden taking his oath as the 46th President of the United States. Now, let's stay in America because the outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump delivers his final message to the American people, extending his gratitude to serve as the 45th President of the United States. During his speech, President Trump lauded his administration's 4 years' achievements. And let's have more details of that in this report by Sohna Tunkara.
President Trump has left White House for last time as he boycotted the inaugural ceremony of his successor, Joe Biden. Donald Trump said if the world had not been hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, there would have been a heavy record made.
Such good and have had such good job numbers. The job numbers have been absolutely incredible. When we started, had we not been hit by the pandemic, we would have had numbers that would never have been seen. Already our numbers are the best ever. Look at what happened until February a year ago. Our numbers were at a level that nobody had ever seen before. And even now, we really built it twice. We got hit. Nobody blames us for that. The whole world got hit, and then we built it again. And now the stock market is actually substantially higher than it was at its higher point prior to the pandemic. So it's really, you could say we built it twice. And you're going to see incredible numbers start coming in if everything is sort of left alone. Be careful. Very complex. Be careful. But you're going to see some incredible things happening. and remember us when you see these things happening, if you would.
According to Trump, despite the world being attacked by the deadly virus that took toll on the world economy, many businesses were brought to a halt and the impact was devastating. But the American economy was able to withstand the pressure.
Because I'm looking at elements of our economy that are set to be a rocket ship up. It's a rocket ship up. We have the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest economy in the world. And as bad as the pandemic was, we were hit so hard, just like the entire world was hit so hard. Places that thought they got away with it didn't get away with it. They're suffering right now. We did something that is really considered a medical miracle. They're calling it a miracle, and that was the vaccine. We got the vaccine developed in 9 months instead of 9 years or 5 years or 10 years or a long time. It was supposed to take a long time, many, many years to develop a vaccine. We have 2 out. We have another one coming almost immediately.
The outgoing U.S. President Donald Trump delivered a farewell video message from the White House on Tuesday, extending his best wishes to Joe Biden. Earlier today, Donald Trump thanked the American people for honoring him. He wished the incoming administration a smooth and prosperous term in office in making America great.
I will always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better. I wish the new administration great luck and great success. I think they'll have great success. They have the foundation to do something really spectacular. And again, we put it in a position like it's never been before, despite the worst plague to hit since, I guess you'd say 1917, over 100 years ago. And despite that, the things that we've done have been just incredible, and I couldn't have done it without you. So
the race for power in the past months has tested the American democracy with series of violence that erupted before and after elections. In his farewell speech, Donald Trump says his 4 years was an honor beyond description, while condemning the assault on the U.S. Capitol, saying despite their political differences, Americans must unify around their shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge their common destiny. For Africa News, Sohna Tungara.
The former U.S. President Donald Trump, who earlier today sent his last message to the American people before he left the White House. Now we come back home. Mamadou Cham, the National Youth President of the Gambia Democratic Congress (GDC), has said that the President Barrow's National People's Party (NPP) was formed on a false promise. MC Cham made this allegation on Africa TV's Good Morning program on Wednesday. Mariama Cham tells us more of that in this report.
As the Barrow's government clocks for on Tuesday since its inception in January 2017, many Gambians, including politicians of different political parties, have been assessing President Barrow's 4 years of presidency. The National Youth President of the Gambia Democratic Congress said President Barrow's National People's Party (NPP) was formed on a basis of false promises to the Gambian people. MC Cham added that President Barrow never promised Gambians he would form his own political party.
NPP as a political party, I have been saying this long time ago, was built on lies, because they have lied to the Gambians and showed them that his movement is here to help people with boreholes, gardens, and so on. But Barrow did not tell Gambians that he was going to form a political party. What he told Gambians was that he is here for 3 years, that he is content with what he has. He also promised that he will make all necessary reforms, then leave Gambians to elect their choice.
Meanwhile, President Barrow on Tuesday commended the Gambian electorates, the Diaspora Coalition 2016 campaign team, and the political parties for putting aside their political differences for the national interest. However, the GDC National Youth President said Barrow should have addressed Gambians in a more appropriate manner than extending his gratitude in a press statement.
président bi tam expogoon na démba na war a génn toog waxtaan ak Gambian si like.
I expected the president to come out yesterday to sit in front of the state TV and speak to Gambians rather than a press release from his office. I was also expecting him to sit in front of the camera and thank Gambians and all those who contributed for the change, including the political parties and other countries like Senegal. He could have shown his commitment, and gratitude to Gambians is better than sharing a press release to the media.
MC Cham also observed that the political parties that formed the coalition in 2016 to us Jammeh failed Gambian people. President Adama Barrow was sworn in at the Gambian embassy in Dakar when Jammeh refused to step down after he rejected the December 1st, 2016 presidential elections. Gambians went through challenges during the impasse when former President Jammeh refused to step down after President Barrow defeated him in the December 2016 polls. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
And from that report, they are filed in by Mariama Cham. Next to Tunisia. Now, the latest measures imposed by the Tunisian government to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has adversely affected the country's tourism sector. Authorities say, despite the economic challenges, the imposed new regulations are necessary to save lives. However, the government decision has not gone down well with the tourism authorities. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The 4-day general lockdown imposed in Tunisia from January 14th to 17th will be followed by a targeted lockdown that lasts until January 24th. All public and private events, gatherings and intercity travel have been banned, while the curfew is still in place. Players in the tourism industry have denounced the new measures, which they say have paralyzed the industry, but the government maintains that the restrictions are necessary to safeguard lives.
We are aware of the negative repercussions of the pandemic and the lockdown on all economical sectors. Tourism and related activities were hit hard. We regret the damage caused by these restrictions, but the measures are necessary to curb the rate of infections and improve the epidemiological situation.
The Tunisian Hotel Federation has evaluated the impact of the pandemic and the lockdown, which halted mobility globally. The pandemic decimated the country's crucial tourism industry, as revenues plunged by 65% in 2020 compared to 2019 to around $746 million.
2020 was a catastrophic year for tourism. This industry employs some 400,000 direct jobs, and the hotel sector employs 80,000 people. 27,000 jobs were lost in 2 months. The unemployment rate is very high, and the purchasing power of these people is very low. The crisis caused by the tourism industry will lead to the loss of 1 million direct and indirect jobs. This pillar of economy is now facing a huge risk.
Analysts assert that more of the government's targeted support and relief measures will be needed for the industry to continue operating after the end of the pandemic.
The tourism industry will be the last sector to revive because it is the most affected. It is painful to see how tourism has been devastated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The solution is not immediate, but the government's relief effort is considerable. We need to survive and avoid bankruptcy until the end of the crisis. However, keeping the businesses open will be impossible for 70% of the industry.
Tunisia's Tourism and Handicrafts Ministry has set up a joint committee tasked with the revival of the post-COVID-19 tourist activity. This committee is in charge of drawing up an integrated recovery plan to ensure the battered sector recovers from the fallout.
According to the National Institute of Statistics, the COVID-19 crisis is having sweeping consequences on tourism jobs, hotels and travel agencies. Experts believe that economic recovery would be impossible without a mass national and international vaccination plan.
The new COVID-19 regulations imposed by the Tunisian authority is impacting on the country's tourism industry. And from that report in Tunisia, we come back home because the Director of Health Promotion Education of the Ministry of Health has said that there's a possibility for another lockdown if the resurgence of the COVID-19 infections continue to rise in the country. Dr. Mamoudou Ndiaye on Wednesday told Africa TV's Good Morning Africa program that the Health Ministry is aware of every situation in the country with regards to the pandemic. The CISE has more details of that in this report.
The number of new COVID-19 cases is gradually increasing in the Gambia, leaving the public worried as to whether the government will introduce another lockdown. Last week, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, confirmed that the new UK COVID-19 variant has entered into the Gambia. Speaking to iAfrica TV, the Director of Health Promotion and Education, Mamoudou Ndiaye, said that the country might go under another lockdown if new cases of the virus continue to surge.
Obviously, when we see an increase in number of cases on a daily basis, it will warrant the Minister of Health to come out with a statement to ensure that we put up measures that either to recommend to government strategies and measures that will be able to make sure that they cut down the number of cases. So it depends on the technical committee that will decide, but so they are also monitoring the situation. As we are moving on, we are seeing a trend in the number of cases that are going up. Definitely we've gone to a level that there is a need for us to be able to put up a lockdown measure, that we're going to do it. But right now, as far as, because we get a lot of information on our Facebook page, people are asking, is the country going to lockdown? We've not gone to lockdown yet, but if the situation warrants it, the country is going to go to, the ministry will recommend for it, and it's going to be implemented.
After a month of decline in the number of COVID-19 cases in the country, the public is no longer observing the WHO and the Health Ministry's COVID-19 health guidelines, such as wearing a face mask, social distancing, and frequent washing of hands. Dr. Ndiaye has urged the public to reconsider these guidelines and also challenge all regions across the Gambia to make sure that everyone wears a face mask.
For the general public, I want to appeal to the public to continue wearing face masks, and I want to appeal to the journalists themselves now to start the campaign. Every journalist in this country, for people to see and emulate from you, we want anytime you go out, you need to put on face masks. Likewise, all heads of departments, institutions, we also need to start wearing face masks, and all governors, district chiefs, alcalos, heads of households, we want to see everybody in face masks. And also, we want to make sure that every institution there are hand-washing facilities. That's the appeal I want to make to the general public.
The Director of Health Promotion assured the public that the Health Ministry is well prepared for any resurgence of the pandemic in the Gambia. According to the Ministry of Health, currently Gambia has 3,938 confirmed cases, 3,697 recoveries, and 128 deaths. For iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
The Gambia may face another lockdown if the number of coronavirus cases continue to increase in the country, according to the Director of Health Promotion of the Ministry of Health. And with that report by Daisy, we will now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining of the story. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Then walk into any Africell customer care center and activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and you're watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV. And now to the rest of the stories. Now, Obanke Telele, a 17-year-old boy from the city of Bloemfontein in South Africa, has built his own car from metal scraps and spare parts he gathered since 2015. The boy was inspired by his father that enabled him to achieve his long-time dream. Omar Ahmad Toure has more details of that in this report.
Obaken Titeli was determined to build his own car, and as early as 2015, the teenager started to assemble his first metal vehicle, but was not able to finish it due to a scarcity of materials. He would not hesitate in pursuing his dreams as the inspiration drawn from his father keeps him going.
What made me love cars is that I grew up watching my dad fixing them. He taught me while he was working. At the age of 13, I thought about creating my own car, but I lacked the materials to build it.
As a child, he used to dismantle car toys that his father buys him and would pay detailed attention while the father works fixing cars. His father motivated him on his second attempt by buying him a new motorbike, and the coronavirus lockdown gave him ample free time to achieve his goal. Obaken's father, Lipil Teseli, a mechanic and a welding school teacher, has this advice for his son.
My encouragement to him is that he must never give up on what he wants to achieve. Never give up. So he must not despair until he overcomes or wins. And he must stay far from bad companies. Especially, he must stay away from girls, as he is too young for that.
This car here has a 110cc engine and uses an automatic carburetor with a scooter battery. The engine uses a cane that pulls the back wheels. The body is made of Mercedes-Benz parts with the Mazda steering wheel joined together. It has a gear lever and the proper car steering rack to enable it to turn. Obaken is not done with work yet and has plans to provide mirrors, brake lights and a dashboard for his car. For Air Africa TV, I am Omar Ahmad Toure.
A very inspiring young boy there from South Africa. We hope he can go on to build another much more better car. It was good luck to him. Finally, to Ethiopia now, because the Ethiopian or humanitarian organizations in the country and the United Nations have expressed concern about the lack of enough food supply in the Tigrayan region. Now, officials of the Ethiopian government said they are assisting the vulnerable people, while the country's refugees agency is working on to bring back citizens from neighboring countries. The Tigrayan region was engulfed in a war with the central government, displacing many people in the area. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Many aid organizations, including those which belong to the UN, said there is an urgent need for food assistance in Tigray regional state. The Ethiopian government said it is delivering assistance to the most vulnerable daily. The country's agency for refugees and returnees says it's also working to bring back citizens in Sudanese camps.
We are working day and night to ensure their safe return to their home. We have been able to expedite an operation that ensures the safe travel back to Ethiopia. Basically, some of the refugees are returning by themselves without any support and without any assistance. The most important thing that they want is assurance from the Ethiopian government that the region is safe.
It is not only the Tigray region's local population who need aid, it's also Eritrean refugees in different camps in the region.
There are around 100,000 Eritrean refugees in Tigray. 46,000 of these reside in 4 camps that are located in the Tigray region, and the rest 46,000 reside in out-of-camp policy, which means they are scattered throughout the cities of Tigray and Ethiopia as well. So we have assessed the situation in what is going on with the 4 camps in Tigray and the major cities, especially Shire and other neighboring cities, and we have started distributing food.
Still, aid agencies call for more robust measures to be taken by authorities to avoid any future humanitarian catastrophe in Tigray. These include the opening of more safe humanitarian corridors and allow better access for aid agencies to operate in.
And that report there from Ethiopia finally brings this news bulletin to an end. But for more details on these stories and others, as always, you can visit on our website, onafrica.tv. But Mariama Cham would be here at 19:30 GMT or 7:30 for the Gambia 24 News Bulletin. But for now, though, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and bye for now.